as they were praying for you. Guys, please listen. You just let me feel a few things. Many times when we look at someone, many times when we're walking out there, we're so easy to judge. We're so easy to look at a person and say, just because they have good clothes, just because they don't have what we have, we start to think that they're less than us. But before anything, as the Lord puts that in my heart, let's not be so quick to judge. Let's not be so quick to judge. For the only one who has the right to judgment is Jesus. So with that said, I want to humbly ask you to keep an open heart, an open mind to the Lord's message. I want to ask you from the bottom of my heart to keep an open heart and an open mind to what the Lord wants to say to you and me tonight. So forget about everything. Open your mind and heart to the message the Lord has for you tonight. And this message is not going to be to judge you. The Lord's message won't be to judge you. But it's got to guide and strengthen you and me. So many people think just because I stand up here, many times the things I say hurt me the most because He's speaking to me too. Just because I say one thing doesn't mean I don't have to listen to Him. Many times we know exactly what's wrong with us, but until we hear it, we don't know how to react. So as I asked the Lord what He wanted to talk to each one of us tonight, He used simple words that we heard last week. And those words were, ask and you shall receive. And as I keep asking the Lord, what? We just talked about that last week. These kids are going to get bored about the same thing. And then He was like, well, if you talk, they'll get bored. If you let me talk, I'll take care of it. So as the Lord reminded me of those words, ask and you shall receive. Simply, very simple. What do those words mean? Ask and you shall receive. That means the Lord wants you and me to ask. But He wants to show us how to ask. Because many of us feel like we ask, and we're not heard. We feel like we're just wasting our breath. But we're not. That's why the Lord wants exactly you and I to listen to these words tonight. From the Bible. From the Bible, when He spoke to His apostles, the disciples, He said, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed and you tell that mountain to move, it shall move. That's another part of asking. Don't ask in doubt. If you ask in doubt, it's never going to be given to you. If you ask, Lord, I need this. Lord, I need you to help me. But at the same time, you're like, whoa, is there even a God in what I do? You're already doubting what you're asking. But not just doubting what you're asking, you're doubting God. So as He told His apostles and disciples, as they needed to hear it too, ask and you shall receive. But with that Bible passage, He says, ask in faith, and that mountain shall move. So ask in faith. Without doubt. Ask in faith. Faith is believing in what you don't see. Ask knowing that the Lord will give it to you. Ask knowing that He who sees it all, in darkness and in light, is listening to you. It's listening to you. And don't think the Lord is singling you out tonight. The apostles doubted many times. And Jesus had to speak to them about faith and asking and believing in Him many times. For example, with Lazarus. Lazarus was Jesus' good friend when he died. When he died, they sent a messenger to Jesus. Because Jesus was supposed to go visit him to cure him because he was sick. But the messenger went, okay, Lord, you don't have to go anymore. Lazarus has died. And the first thing Jesus said, alright, let's go. Let's go. With all His apostles and disciples, He said, let's go. And the first people would say, Lord, for what? You could be healing so many other people. Why are you going over there? The apostles also doubted of God's power. If the apostles doubted of Jesus' power, you and I will also doubt of God's power. But it's not about how many times we doubt. It's not about how many times we don't believe. It is about today and now. But from today and on, you will start to believe. But when we don't ask, it is not given to us. But when we ask, it is not given to us. When we are doubting, it is not given to us. We lose more faith. Instead of gaining more faith in Jesus, we lose more faith. And when our faith used to be huge, now it becomes this small. That's why Jesus is reminding us of those words. Those very same words He had to repeat them all over and over again. There was a girl in the Bible. She passed away. Out of the 12 disciples, only 2 got to go in with Jesus. The only 2 that had faith that God, that Jesus could raise her up, could bring her back to life. Only those 2. But then as time went on, even when Jesus passed away, Thomas didn't believe Jesus had risen from the dead. He didn't believe that Jesus had resurrected. Thomas did not believe that the Jesus he followed had came back to life. Until Jesus said to him, Thomas, put your fingers in my wounds. Then you believe. Many times we have to see things in order to believe. Many times we have to see the power of God move in order to believe that there is a God. Well, see yourself. See your life. See some people that are here tonight that would have never been here tonight. See your family. See your mom. See your dad. They can be examples of God's power. Look at me. If it wasn't for God's power and God's love, I wouldn't be here. And many of you that know me from back then know that. So if you and I, from today on, decide to ask in faith, decide to ask in faith, believing in Jesus, believing in His power. You know when His apostles doubted, Jesus believed in the power of God and He was going to Lazarus. He was going to Lazarus, his good friend who had died. And when he got there, he meets him his mother. Lord, you're late. He's already dead. And Jesus will tell us, I tell you, if you believe, you will see the glory of God.